welcome back. This is gonna be my first update for my Pan That Palette challenge. I am doing the Naturally Pretty by It Cosmetics, and I also added 5 cream eyeshadows that I wanted to work throughout this year. Now today I'm going to share with you the progress that I've been making with this, also letting you know the different looks that I've been creating with this palette and how I've been panning different colors in this palette, and also share with you a little bit of the progress that I have on my cream eyeshadows. So if you're interested in all that, then just keep watching. I'm gonna start by showing you how the palette looks. So you can see it for yourself right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put last month progress, and I'm gonna take a picture of the palette right now so you can kind of see side by side while I talk about each one of these colors. Now the first color on the right side is the color Noir, which was the black color in this palette, and I finished that color last year. So if you didn't know, I used this palette for my Pan That Palette project for 2015. If you want to check that out, the progress that I made and my journey with this palette last year, I'll link that video up here. If you want to see the intro, I also will link it up here, so you'll have more information as for why I added once again this palette for this year's Pan That Palette. Now the next color that you can see right there is the color Midnight. I finished the corner, the upper corner on the right side. I finished that completely, and I'm starting to work through the bottom part of that color. I use Midnight in replacement of the blue eyeshadows from the Blow Me Away palette. If you haven't checked out that video, I will link it up here. It's basically how I've been using this color just all over the lid for more of a smoky look whenever I wanted something darker. Now for the color Violet that is right by it, as you can see, I've made a lot of progress. I finished the top part completely on both sides, and now I'm starting to work through the bottom part of this eyeshadow. It's getting thinner and thinner as we speak, because I've been using that color every single day in a different way in a makeup look. Now I created a look with this eyeshadow color and the color Iconic, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but if you want to check that out, I'll link it up here. It's also including a few shades from the Tarte Bon Voyage palette from holiday 2014. I think that's when that palette came out, and I kind of combined different shadows. I love that look, and I used it over and over again throughout the month of January. Now for the color Iconic, as you can see, I finished the bottom right part of that eyeshadow, and I use it every single time I use Violet. I would use Iconic. Now for the month of February, I've been working through different combinations on different ways to use those eyeshadows, but as far as January, I had a lot of fun combining those two eyeshadows in the look that I just mentioned. Now for the color Mocha, that is the color that I'm working through this month of February, and as you can see, I finished last month the bottom corner on the right side, and I'm working through the other half of the eyeshadow on the left side of the palette. Now that is a very pretty color, and I think it's one of the colors that I didn't like at first the most, and now I'm excited to incorporate it in different looks. I mean, I can use it as by itself and just create something very smoky but not as dark. I can use it with other eyeshadows, more green eyeshadows, and it brings out the green in this particular one, and it's just a very soft color that you can combine it with a lot of different shades and it works. So I'm gonna share with you different looks that I've been working in this month of February, so hopefully that will give you an idea on how I'm using that color. Now the color Jabba, I don't know if you can see, but the pan is showing a little bit bigger, and it's showing thinner on the sides, especially on the bottom part of the eyeshadow. Now that color, I like to use it with a pencil brush, so I don't think I mean, it's very pigmented, and you know, it's gonna take me some time to go through it. But since I realized that the best way to use that eyeshadow is with a pencil brush, so you can get the full pigmentation and I can have more control or where to apply that darker color, I think it's not gonna be as hard as I thought that it was gonna be. I'm really happy and excited using that color. I've been using it this month of February as well, and trying to find different ways to make it work and also see a little bit more progress for the next update. Then as far as the next 6 colors, I did make some progress, but not crazy. But I'm still gonna go through each of the eyeshadows and talk to you a little bit more about each one of them and my plan with them. Now the first one is the color Soulful. That is a very pretty color. I have it on my lid right now, combined with other 2 eyeshadows from this palette today. I just sat down and decided that I was going to come up with a different combination of eyeshadows, and this is what I came up with. I really enjoyed the color Soulful. I started to use it now in the month of February, but the month of January I didn't use it that much because it's one of my favorite colors, and I know that as soon as I'm done with one of, you know, with the darker colors, which are the ones that are harder to finish for me, that I know that I'm just gonna fly through this amazing color that it's Soulful. I also have the color All Heart. That is very pretty, but every time I use it, it looks more pink and brown in the pan, but when I use it, it looks purple on me. I don't know what it is, but it does look a lot like one of the colors in the Naked 2 palette. I don't know why. It's just, it changes completely on my skin. Now I do like it, and as you can see, there is a little bit of progress, and especially around whatever the eyeshadow is. I've been working my brush around that area so I can make it thinner and thinner, so once I hit pan, it's just gonna be pretty much gone. Now the next color is the color Warmth. That is a very pretty color that I love to use on top of my MAC Painterly paint pot. I especially like that color to use with my e.l.f. Concealer brush. I think that's the name. It's very big and fluffy, and I love to pick up just that color, apply it all over my eyelids, and get them ready for whatever eyeshadow I'm gonna use on top. So I do like it, and I know that if I continue to use it every single day, it's probably gonna be gone by the next update. I also have Sunset. I don't have a lot of progress with Sunset, but it's getting thinner around because once again I've been working on kind of making more even progress instead of concentrating whatever the pan is showing. I love that color. I love to layer that color with Warmth and Soft Light. I mean, one on top of the other. I would get one of them wet, and it's just, it's the perfect combination. I love that eyeshadow, and I'm not worried that I didn't make much progress. Once again, I'm trying to concentrate on the ones that are a little bit harder for me just because they're darker and more pigmented. Now the next one is Soft Light. That one, I also been using it all over the lid like Warmth. That one, when I apply it on my lid, it does look a little bit more gray than, you know, the beigey color that you can see on the palette, but I can still pull it off. I also can use it all over the lid, and I don't know if you can tell, but on the right side corner on the bottom, it's almost hidden pan in that corner. I mean, I've been working around the entire eyeshadow or whatever it's left on the eyeshadow, the 4 corners, but on that part it's, you know, I'm just almost hitting pan once again, and it's a very soft color. I just love it. And then I also have Sunrise. Sunrise is a very pretty color that I love to layer as well, and I am not worried about it. Once again, I think that as soon as I'm done with at least 2 of the darker colors, I'm gonna start to concentrate more of my attention on these ones. In the meantime, I'm just gonna wear them, you know, just kind of mix them with the darker colors and try to make those dark colors work. Now Sheer Joy and Love, those were empty already, so I didn't work on those colors. And then the color Transforming Pearl, I love this color, especially when I'm using darker colors. I can make that method of applying darker eyeshadows in the outer corner and then in the inner corner, and apply the Transforming Pearl color in the middle, and it's just beautiful. I don't think that it works how they say they work, like you apply one of these eyeshadows and then put the Transforming Pearl on top and it looks shimmery. I think it kind of makes the color lighter, or kind of fades the eyeshadow. So I use it that way, but my preferred method is to apply it into the center of the lid and kind of make it work that way, and I really have been enjoying it. I don't think that you can see much difference. It does look pretty much the same, maybe just a little bit more pan showing today, but it's just one of those eyeshadows that I'm not worried about. So anyways, I'm gonna move on to the cream eyeshadows, and the first one that I'm gonna show you is the one that I finished. Yes, I did finish this one. It took me the entire month. This is the Mary Kay Glacier Gray Cream Eyeshadow. This was a gray shimmery metallic finish. It's very pretty, but this is the eyeshadows that once they expire, they change consistency. So I had to, every time that I was using it, I had to apply a little bit of a setting spray or something, oil or something, just to mix it and make it work. So I decided that instead of working through each one of these colors, you know, as much as I did on this one, I wanted to concentrate my full attention on it so I could finish it completely. I mean, you can see a little bit of something around, but that is just hard and I can't get rid of that color. It's just too hard to apply on my lid. Then I'm going to continue with the other eyeshadow, Mary Kay eyeshadow I have right here, and this is in the color Metallic Taupe. I don't think you're going to be able to see any progress because when I used this, I used a fluffy brush and I was using it on top of this one. So I don't, you know, it's just pretty much, it looks the same as it did last time, which I'm not concerned about because this is one of the prettiest colors that they have. And this one, I can still revive it every 2 or 3 days and it does work still the same, while this one was getting harder every single day. Now the next one, it's the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and this is what it looks like. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm almost hitting pan on this cream eyeshadow. I didn't want to kind of mix it before I did this update so you could see the progress, but what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna mix it and see if that kind of I don't know, make it softer. Right now, I don't know if it's because I'm using it every single day and I'm opening more often. When I started, it wasn't as hard as it is right now. I mean, you can still use it and it, you know, and it works just fine, but I feel like it's changing enough that I want to finish it as soon as possible. Now I have a couple Maybelline color tattoo. This is Bad to the Bronze, and this is what it looks like. I did use this quite a bit this month. If you try to pan any Maybelline color tattoo, you know how hard it is to show progress. I used this, I would say, at least 5 or 6 times this month. I created a look with the next color tattoo that I'm about to share with you. I'm gonna link that video up here if you want to check it out. But this one, it's in the color Vintage Plum, and I don't think you can see any difference in the color. I mean, this is the kind of eyeshadow that is just a little bit patchy when you apply it, and it's very, very pigmented, so you do have to take the time to blend it. It's not like the metallic finishes one that you apply it and they kind of blend themselves. This one, you do have to apply it with a brush if you want something more, not as harsh as when you apply it with the finger. So anyways, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this update. Let me know how you are doing with your Pan That Palette challenge. If you need a little bit of inspiration, I will link up here my playlist that it's called How to Pan That Palette, where I share with you different combinations with different eyeshadow palettes. This month was requested to do more colorful looks. I did a lot of neutral with the Lorac Pro, with the chocolate bar, with IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty, but this month is going to be a little bit more colorful, so stay tuned for that. There are a few of you who told me that are working through Vice palettes or Urban Decay colorful palettes, so I want to share those maybe ideas with you, so hopefully it can inspire you to create different ones for your project. So thank you so much for watching. If you're new, remember to subscribe so you can keep up with the new videos, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah!